just a brief conversation about the legacy of the Middle East Studies minor program in the Middle East and Islamic Studies MA program at George Mason, which you had a very important role to play in. In fact, a seminal role. And the purpose of this discussion is simply to first of all, thank you for the support and for making Middle East Studies and Islamic Studies at George Mason what it is today. And we would love just to hear from you what your thoughts are on any aspect of the development of these initiatives. And given that you were the provost when I was hired and you literally hired me, what was going on at Mason that spurred this initiative?
Okay, well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to talk with you, and congratulations to you and the other faculty in the program on 15 years. That's a major milestone, so great. Um, so, when the program was launched as a minor program initially, we were in the midst of a considerable expansion of our range of global education. We were establishing a number of new undergraduate programs, particularly the Global Studies program. We were also expanding our range of languages. Uh, I think by that point we had added Arabic, and we later added Turkish. So this was a central part of a major initiative to make Mason education more internationally adept and give students, initially particularly undergraduate students, opportunities that we hadn't been offering before. As we did this general push in global, the Middle East, frankly, was an obvious focus. It wasn't the only one, but it was really one of two that we concentrated on particularly. And there was, frankly, a pretty obvious reason for that. Um, at this point in 2007, the Middle East, if it was studied at all, was most commonly studied as a source of threat. And we very much wanted, first of all, we didn't think the approach was adequate, even if your major concern was security. And we certainly didn't think that a security focus was an adequate way to address the nature and range of issues in the Middle East. So we thought we could make a real contribution to our students. And frankly, particularly as we established graduate level programs to the region, to government and non-government agencies, by enhancing opportunities to get a better sense of what Middle Eastern political, economic, and social, as well as cultural um, patterns revealed. So, as I say, this was a significant part of, and it was a fairly deliberate part of a major global expansion for us. As you know, we also tried a couple things with regard to the Middle East that didn't totally work out. We ventured a campus in Ras Al Khaimah in the United Arab Emirates. We gave it a good try, but it just didn't work, which was a shame. It would have been a very interesting opportunity for us.
Mhm.
And as you very well know personally, you and I spent some time trying to develop some initiatives with Syria.
Yep.
Um, we even went to Syria in 2011,
At the
and
eve
we,
of the Arab uprisings,
well, yeah, but it was early stages. We didn't
we
know
had no
how.
idea.
So this was a really interesting effort and a sincere effort. We were hoping to make some links with educational programs there. We actually brought a couple of students over for a years of graduate training, but this opportunity was totally overtaken by events. But overall, you try some things that don't work. But happily, the core here, the minor and then the master's program, these did work, and they've become an important aspect of what we do globally, what we can offer both undergraduates and graduates. So um, I'm glad it's worked out so well. I did have a little role in it. You had even more as we hired you and benefited from your energy and knowledge. So it's just been a very fruitful overall relationship over 15 years.
Absolutely, and I have really fond memories of the starting points where the honest truth is without your support and the support of a small number of people early on at George Mason, including Dean Jack Sensor.
Right.
It would have been a very difficult uphill battle, but you made everything quite smooth, and were cognizant of the discursive challenges that we had in terms of Middle East and Islamic studies. So much gratitude to you and your effort. I would love to get a sense from you. Just casually, what is, do you have any particular memories of the history and legacy of the Middle East and Islamic Studies programs, either the minor or the MA, or either the minors actually, because there is an Islamic Studies minor as well, or the MA? Is there anything that stands out that you'd like to share? Before we let you go, I promised you a short discussion.
No, no, that's fine. I don't have any. My most vivid memory, frankly, is that of the trip to Syria, which was extraordinarily interesting, a lot of fun. I just wish it had panned out for all sorts of reasons. But I mean, obviously, you were a central faculty hire, but we've also been able to bring on a number of additional faculty in this area. Um, we benefited from some major donations, more on the Islamic studies side than on the Middle Eastern side, but obviously they interrelate. Um, we had an amazing donor from Turkey, for Alak, with whom I've had a number of fruitful contacts. He's a marvelous gentleman. We've also had support from people interested in Islamic studies in the Northern Virginia region. So again, we've had a lot of help, and I think the program has gained and deserved a great deal of support. I should mention also, this was not a major factor in our thinking about the program. I think the program also benefits and helps the fact that this region has a large number of students of Middle Eastern origin. It's a fair, it's an interesting minority of students on the Mason campus, and I think it helps the program. It brings in some students who have some cultural and linguistic knowledge in advance, and they in turn help develop the contacts with other students in ways that can benefit the program as well. So the student focus angle, I think, is an interesting one.
Absolutely. And this is perhaps one of the strongest points that we have going for us here at George Mason. And we hope that we continue to basically take advantage of it because of the not just the demographics but also the need for a continued critical
Yeah.
set of approaches to the region and to Islam, which are not always in good supply. I would like to close with asking you about your own work. What have you been doing since you sort of, I mean, you're still doing a lot at Mason, but since you left Mason as a formal, official, quote unquote, full time position as provost?
Well, I've been teaching a full time load. I took one semester off after I stopped being provost, but otherwise, I've been teaching a full load, and I've been developing a number of research projects, frankly, particularly in the area of the history of emotion. One of my major projects right now, with some others, is editing a fairly substantial collection of essays on the history of happiness in world history. It's a collection that will actually have three contributions concerning the Middle East, which is understudied in this emotions history field. So I've been trying to develop this from a standpoint both of my own research and as a sort of organizer of a more global approach to the history of emotion. My own personal research project right now is an effort to study the history of the rise of student anxiety in the United States. It's a strictly American project, though I would love to get some comparative input on it. I haven't been able to do that yet.
Wow, this is actually very timely. Is this connected at all to the effects of COVID-19, or is it separate from it but also related?
Well, look, COVID-19 has made this issue more obvious, but from a historical standpoint, I think the main point is most of the patterns of rising anxiety were established well before COVID. That's why COVID has been so bad from this standpoint. We were already in some difficulty. So I'm not studying COVID directly, but factors that predate COVID.
And if I might press you for just a second here about what sort of factors are we considering? Is it technological factors, familial, social? Uh, I mean, I'm not trying to ask you. You don't have to spend a lot of. I just would love to get a sense of these issues because we're dealing with them at a very high level right now.
Okay, good. Okay, so there are three basic factors, and I do not know how they rank. Factor one, yeah, young people's reactions to world events, um, nuclear threat, more recently, environmental threat. That's factor one. Factor two, at least in the United States, changes in the educational system over the past 50 or 60 years that have heightened a sense of competition and anxiety, not always realistically, but the fact is it's real whether the causes are entirely objective or not. So larger world context, changes in the educational system, and then in the United States at least, simply the rise of therapy itself, the extent to which there are lots of well-meaning people searching for student mental health issues, um, helping provide students with language to identify their mental health issues, um, and in some cases, uh, giving a mental health angle to tensions that may have existed previously. So it's a combination of three.
This is remarkable. And is this going to be in addition to your collection of books? I understand, and I don't fathom, or I mean, I understand that you have published so many books, but I don't fathom how you were able to do more than 100 books. I mean, and I know that's actually even higher right now. So this will be yet another volume.
I wish I could get a book out of it. Frankly, I don't have enough data. So right now it's at the level of articles. I would
Well,
love to organize a volume that had a comparative dimension in which I would contribute, but also seek others to talk about student anxiety, particularly in other societies. But
absolutely.
I,
I mean, I know I myself know of a number of projects on this topic in the Middle East and parts of North Africa. So, in all cases, perhaps we can have a separate conversation about this. But thank you very much, Peter, for joining me, and a big hello and appreciation from the entire program faculty at the Middle East and Islamic Studies program and the Middle East Studies minor programs. Thanks for everything that you have done for the program, to launch it, to support it while it was facing challenges. I mean, there were very few obstacles because the administration at the time, in the late 2000s and early 2010s, was very much behind this program and the trajectory of both programs, actually. And you have been instrumental, and this is why you are our honorary first guest on this podcast series on the anniversary and legacy of the Middle East and Islamic Studies programs. Thank you very much, Peter.
thank you, and again, congratulations. Best wishes.
Thank you.